Super 6 Cool Ways to Hack Your Brain. The human brain is the most important reason in the back of our utter dominance on Earth. We won't be able to fly, have the pleasant claws, or run particularly fast. But way to the functionality of our brains, we've managed to climb our way to the top of the evolutionary hierarchy. Despite all of that, even though the brain still has its barriers, there are many things we are able to do due to the one's barriers, and such inabilities frequently show up at the worst times. Thankfully for us all, scientists are continuously operating on coming up with hacks to conquer our brain's limits. As there may be nonetheless a lot we don't apprehend, approximately the maximum essential part of the frame. Here are 10 methods you may hack your mind in your advantage, in line with technology. Number 6. Be more attractive by believing you smell good. It comes as a marvel to no person that smelling accurate makes you more attractive to the alternative sex, as we instinctively partner odor with hygiene. It's a greater understated cue of attractiveness than different, apparent ones, like looks or persona. However, it nonetheless plays an equally essential role in finding out the final results of a date. We're now not simply speak me about how you odor, however also how you believe you studied you smell. According to a study, simply believing which you scent true will increase your possibilities of getting with the ladies. The Take a Look changed into best completed with male topics. Researchers gave scented spray to one half of a group of equivalently appealing individuals and established odorless spray to the opposite half of and took motion pictures. They then confirmed the videos to a group of ladies, asking them to charge the men on elegance. Surprisingly, the women rated the men with the scented spray to be more attractive, even if they had no manner of understanding how the men smelled just from movies. It indicates that self-notion doesn't just have an impact on the extent of your confidence, however additionally influences how other humans perceive you. Number 5. Use gestures to prepare for a test. Students use a variety of techniques to assist themselves maintain records earlier than an upcoming test. From the conventional writing matters all the way down to the more new age yoga before a reading consultation. As all of us know, even though most of those strategies are hit or leave out, as no one has been able to perfectly determine out the satisfactory way to guarantee memory retention. While we're no longer claiming to have solved pre-check practice, there's one scientifically proven approach you can use that really works, using gestures at the same time as reading. Studies have found that once you use gestures to explain the records to yourself, the brain keeps it a ways greater efficiently than, say, speaking it out aloud or even writing it down. In truth, in one look at, researchers found that best speaking even as studying a concept had no effect on facts retention at all. Number 4. Listen to classical music to improve learning. Music influences every person in specific approaches that we wield pretty positioned into words. Essentially, though, it's an escape from the sounds of the real international and might get us through some tough instances. It's additionally associated with productiveness, as all and sundry who has ever breezed via a deadline with their earphones plugged in can inform you. However, due to the fact all and sundry's mind is exclusive, and music appeals in an extraordinary manner to all and sundry, we don't have a unified principle on how it relates to productivity. While it'll be a while before we can perfectly discern that out. Thanks to one observed, we understand of one type of track that increases creativity and getting to know for everybody, no matter their choice, classical music. In the Have a Look at, 249 students had been discovered in the course of a lecture, albeit in corporations. One had classical track playing within the historical past for the duration of the lecture. The other did no longer. When they tested them in a couple of preference exams right away afterward, they were amazed to find out that the scholars who discovered with classical track performed much higher. Number 3. Chew gum to reduce anxiety and depression. Apart from the approximately 6 seconds that the taste lasts, chewing gum doesn't appear to have any advantages in any respect. Despite it not actually falling into any class of factors, like meals or sports, many human beings like to chew gum, and it stays a largely successful industry. What offers? According to technological know-how, there are a few clean benefits to chewing gum, and it is one of the few confirmed approaches you may force your brain to behave that we recognize of. In a Have a Look at, they located that chewing gum drastically lowers tension ranges. The consequences were maximum mentioned after 2 weeks of regular gum chewing. That likely explains why that man who became continually chewing gum in high college changed into so relax, although it doesn't stop there. Gum chews additionally fare better at scuffling with melancholy and fatigue than others. Number 2. Study in spaced intervals to retain more information. Students had been trying to find the ideal way to examine so that you can fare higher at exams in view that time immemorial, albeit without much success. Even scientists aren't exactly certain approximately how reminiscences are shaped within the mind, and figuring it out has been a long-standing pursuit inside the neuroscience global. One oft-repeated technique this is thought to work before assessments is the brute pressure approach. Just constantly examine the situation, be counted, and you're certain to bear in mind it subsequently. We agree with it because each person says it works, even though according to some research, it absolutely makes you bear in mind less information than in case you'd studied in periods. Known as spaced repetition. This method calls for you to take breaks in the learning system as opposed to time and again seeking to cram data in. Studies prove that the latter is clearly destructive to retaining records, because the brain desires time to make the connections required to shape an enduring reminiscence. Number 1. Smiling can trick your brain into thinking you're happy. People smile because they're satisfied, as most folks need to have discovered by now. It's a merely social feature of the body, and its best reason is to let different humans realize which you're having an awesome time, even though it's faux. What the general public may not understand, however, is that smiling isn't just a reaction to being satisfied, it really works the other way round too. As many research have observed, simply the act of smiling releases a gaggle of sense-suitable chemical substances, like dopamine and serotonin, to your mind. It additionally reduces pressure and tension in excessive pressure conditions, lowers blood strain, and may even help you stay longer. More apparently, it doesn't count number in case you don't sense like smiling in any respect. The mere act of smiling reasons the brain to do all of these matters, regardless of some other factors. Like us, subscribe our channel and share.